Hello again, YouTube. So today we have a 2-channel helicopter, and I got this at TJ-Maxx out of all places, and I picked it up because it was cheap. So we're gonna see what I think about this and how it does, and see if I recommend it. So let's take a look at the front here. So it's saying right there that it requires 3 AA's. The battery pack for the helicopter is included. So it's a 2-channel helicopter. Shows a little house with the helicopter flying indoor. Okay, that says motion sensor, if you guys can see that. It says LED light, so I'm guessing somewhere in this body there's a light in the helicopter. And it says USB charger. Okay, so there's the helicopter. Looks pretty nice, looks small. And I'll compare it to something else I have just so you guys see the difference. It says Hornet right there, glow in the dark. So I'm guessing they consider that LED to be like a glow in the dark thing. I don't know. So that's it. Underneath the glow in the dark, it says 2-channel mini IR helicopter. That's the remote. Okay. This must be the company, World Tech Toys. So the Hornet must be the model. Here's this side of the box. Here's the back side. Ages 8+. Okay. Some of the features right there. The one thing that I saw on the box when I was looking at buying it, it says full charge in 30 to 60 minutes. So that's not that bad. Some of these little guys take a pretty long time to charge, so we'll see if that's true. Alright. And this is why I bought it. That price. 12 bucks. $12.99. $13. It's not bad. So we'll see how it does. And in this picture you see a little LED at the bottom there. That must be what they mean by glow in the dark, because the paint on the body does not look like it's a glow in the dark. So I haven't opened it. It's still sealed with a piece of tape right there. When I bought this, there was a blue one next to it. It was the same exact thing, other than the body being blue, and then some of the box insert being blue also. So let me open this up, and we'll get started. We'll see what's in the box and go from there. Okay, so I cut the tape. Let's see what we get. So first of all, the box feels very light. Okay. Seems like I can take the remote out first. Let's do that. Okay. So there was some blades underneath the remote when I took it out. As you can see, that's the first time I've ever seen that, where you buy a helicopter and the blades come with, or extra blades come in the packaging. They are lettered. It says B1 and A1, so they go in a certain spot. So if you guys are interested, just know that these blades go in a certain way. So let's take a look at the remote. The remote feels very light, very thin. Oh, that's nice. Most of these remotes will have the up and down trigger spring back, and it's kind of nice to have it not have that feature. You can just kind of leave it be and have it hover. We'll see how good that works. Alright, so then I see a motion sensor launch. So that must be the launch button, the land button, power, left and right trim. There's a little LED in there. We'll see if that works. I'm guessing those are the IR sensors. Infrared. Okay. There's the cover. I don't see a small screwdriver to take that screw, so you will need a screwdriver to take that screw out. And this is where you put the batteries for the remote. So yeah, let me do that. Small screwdriver. It's a Phillips screw, lefty loosey, and the 3 AA's go in there. Let me get some AA's if I have some down here anymore. Thank you, Duracell. Put the cover back on, tighten up the screw. It doesn't seem like it tightens, it kind of just keeps spinning. Okay. And now we'll push the power button to see if there's an LED in that little hole there. And there is. So I'm going to take the helicopter out. I hope you guys can see this. Okay, so there is a zip tie I gotta cut. Let me do that real quick. Alright, so here's a helicopter. Doesn't feel that light. Feels okay. It's got a little motor in the back. At first glance, it seems like a pretty good product. Hopefully you guys can see what the bottom looks like. Try to get you guys some more light. A lot of plastic covering the inside parts. Okay. There's some kind of sensor here. I'm not sure what that is. And I think this spot right here is where you charge it. Okay, let me just try to see if that fits in there. It does. It's very tight, but it goes right in. Okay, and right on top of that, hopefully you guys can see that, is a little switch. I'm going to try to flip it over, see if there's any power or LEDs that will light up. Oh, nice. Small LED flashing. Looks really good. Turn it off. So a lot of plastic. I don't see any metal. And as far as its size, let's see. Let me try to get a tape measure, show you guys the size of it. 7 inches long, about 4.5 inches tall. Okay, and as far as the height of the body, I would say about just under 2 inches. And the width, about an inch and a half, just shy. So I'm going to compare it to something else. All right, so here's the Hornet, and this is my SEMA S107. Now the SEMA is bigger, but not by much. I would say it, at most, maybe a 1/4 inch longer. And as far as height, I think they're pretty much the same height. Now as far as quality, the SEMA is, it's got a lot more metal in it, and it just seems a lot more sturdier, heavier. So at first glance, you know, to me, I would think the SEMA would last a lot longer. But this was, I think, $25 when I bought it. So it isn't as cheap as the Hornet, and we'll see how this does when you fly it around. So that'll give you a size comparison. Okay, so I'm gonna start charging the helicopter, and I'm gonna set a timer, and we're gonna see how long it takes to charge. All right, so there's a small LED in the body that glows through. I'm gonna start the stopwatch, see how long this takes. As you can see right there, it's glowing through, so it's easy to see that it's charging. I'm gonna set this right here, and I say this in all my videos, is read your instructions before you fly your new toy. So I'm gonna do that real quick, and I will be back. Okay, so the helicopter light, charging light, has stopped glowing, so it must be charged, and that took, there you go, 26 minutes. So that time will vary. I mean, usually any new piece of electronic that you get nowadays with a battery pack has a charge. So again, that'll vary when you go to charge it for your first time when the battery's fully dead. So I'm gonna unplug this and show you guys a couple things, or point out a couple things in the owner's manual that I wanted to maybe just get clear. So the first thing I wanted to point out, flight time, they're saying 5 to 7 minutes, and charging time, they're saying 30 to 60, which our first charge, again, it took 26 minutes, so it's kind of cool to see that maybe that's true. The second thing I wanted to point out was that little sensor that you guys saw at the bottom of the helicopter. And what that is, it is a infrared receiver. So that's what that is. Another thing I wanted to mention is that they kind of describe this thing as being an indoors flyer, and I can totally see that. It's a very light, small little unit, so the wind will definitely take it wherever it wants to go. So keep this guy indoors, and on top of it, this is an infrared remote, so if you try to fly it outside in the sun, that will interfere with the control. So just so you guys know, keep this guy indoors. And as far as the battery, yeah, 3.7 volt, 75 milliamp. So it's a small little battery. And when we fly it, we'll set a timer and see how long it lasts. So, so the next step is to fly it. So let's give it a flight and see what it does. Hopefully it does good, and I can recommend it. And we'll go from there. So to fly this thing, you must start the remote up first, then the helicopter. Let that stand for a little bit. Okay, and then you go up, down, and that should stop the little light in the remote. And as you saw, the helicopter is good to go. All right. So again, I'm gonna set you guys down. Here we go. Oh, this thing is real nice. Very good. Very stable. Very powerful. As long as you respect the throttle, you won't get in trouble. Oh yeah, and this is very nice. I like this. The left and right stick is very responsive. Very little input does a lot of turning. And same applies with the up and down stick, which is the left stick on the remote. That it doesn't take much to go up and down. I would say I'm at quarter throttle and I'm hovering right at this height. I'm going to give it one zap of full throttle. Let's see what happens here. Okay, as you heard, those blades are spinning. Sounds real good. That little motor in the back works and is doing a great job. I just got to, I got to keep it in the center of the room so I don't hit nothing. But it's not hard. Very easy to fly. If you're new to this, I would give it a little bit of time. And before you know it, you'd be a pro at this thing. I don't know how durable this little guy is, but she flies very nice. I am very surprised how good this flies. So when I first took off, there was a lot of all right, give me a sec. So when I first took off, it wanted to just do a constant spin. So this is the trim buttons. So whenever you find yourself needing trim, like I just mentioned, I needed some trim because the helicopter, let's say, wanted to keep doing a left circle. So I would fight that left circle with some right trim. I think I did like 4 clicks, quick presses of the button, and the counter reacted to spin, and she was a lot easier to fly. So, okay, we're gonna fly this again, and so I'm gonna use the flight sensor mode, which is it takes off by itself, and it's supposed to hover around your hand. So it's kind of hard to follow it, but it's kind of cool. And the fact that it actually does what it says it does is the best part. So I'm going to try this again. So let's start the remote first. That'll flash. That'll flash. Give it a minute so the gyro in the helicopter stabilizes. There we go. And now I'm going to push the motion sensor launch button. And as you can see, that sensor works perfect. Okay, I'm gonna use the button to land this thing, which is the, and there you go, which is the lower button here, motion sensor land button, and it works just fine. One thing I did notice is that when you're in the motion sensor mode, you don't have control of the sticks. It does its own thing, so just know that. So let's fly this again. I'm using the sticks this time. Adding a little right trim. I am so surprised how good this flies. I can already tell you right now, I recommend this to anyone. This is a definitely hidden gem, and for the price of $13, you can't go wrong. Very stable, very easy to fly. Again, when you get into the hobby, it's going to take a little bit to learn any RC, but with a little bit of practice, you will easily fly this. So we've been easily flying this for about 5 minutes, and this thing's doing great. It's had a couple tumbles, and she flies just fine. After each tumble, okay, she's getting low on battery. I can feel it in the stick. I'm at full throttle right now. And it's just not going any higher. Full throttle. And it's just starting to drop. I want to keep flying it just to see if the battery or the helicopter has a low battery signal, or if it'll just stop flying. Alright, so I'm going to stop flying it just because it's getting harder to fly this thing. It's just not going up high enough to keep it up off the ground. So I don't see a low battery signal. I'm going to read through the instructions to see if it's supposed to do something. But nothing is different. The LED still flashes the same, and I don't see a big difference anywhere else. So give me a minute and I'll be right back. Okay, so just at a quick glance through this owner's manual, it doesn't really talk about any kind of change in the LED when the battery gets low. One thing I did see is that under troubleshooting, it does say stops operating during flight. So it must get to a point where the battery gets so weak that the propellers must not turn. I'm not going to take it that far. I don't want to ruin the battery in the helicopter. So just so you guys know, there is no change to the LED, and to me that's no big deal. So what do I think about this helicopter? I like its price. The price of $13 is unbelievable, especially how good it flies. The only bad thing I can say about it is that it's, you know, a lot of plastic. It feels kind of light, but it flies so well, and it's so cheap that, you know, I can't help but to love this little guy. All right, thanks guys. Thank you, World Tech Toys, for making such an affordable product that actually works. Again, I bought it at TJ-Maxx for $12.99, $13. So if you see this guy out there, and again, you're thinking about adding another piece to your collection and or getting a gift, I'd say go for it. Don't hold back. Very easy to fly. And it's got good power. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.